Hey guys, and welcome back to week 11 of the Queensland High School Esports League broadcast. I'm voice Mitch Replays Anderson, joined of course by Max, former Von Neumann, and today by UQU co-founder Tim Jayce. How are you going today, Tim?
How's it going, Mitch, Max? You guys do great stuff here, and I'm here with an exciting announcement for the Queensland High School League of Legends program.
I think I might actually have some notes on this. Oh, there it is.
We got some flyers.
Classic.
I got Max going around to all the houses, going to be door knocking and dropping one of these in the mailbox near you soon. But yeah, we had such an amazing response for the high school program here at the University of Queensland. A lot of schools want to get involved, and they're really sad the season's over. So we thought we'd throw another competition for those students that wanted to compete again. So this is coming up very soon. If you want to go and apply to get into the qualifiers, www.championship.app. Register your school and your team, and you can be on board. 3 dates, July 23rd, July 30th, and August 6th of those key dates to qualify and get your seating for the ECHA live event. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I mean, it's a potential chance to play on stage in front of a live audience, which is sort of a very unique opportunity. Not to mention for a lot of these teams, too, that might just fall short in this tournament as well. They have sort of a second chance to get that sort of experience that a lot of these teams are fighting for. I don't know, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, most definitely, and of course it's always fun to play those live events. You know, we know we've had several here at UQ, and we've got our finals coming up as well very soon in the Sir Fred Chanel Theatre here on campus, which is something we're ready to gear up for. And of course these teams are playing today this week in the tiebreaker games, which are going to decide who's going to be in those finals and maybe eventually making that grand final.
Yeah, exactly. Like today is sort of the start of the postseason almost, just because we've gone through 7 weeks. Yep. It's now week 11. There's only 5 spots left in that top 16, which we're going to find out today. Our match will be Forest Lake versus Kelvin Grove 3. Forest Lake, one of those newer teams, KG3, one of the ones from near the start. So it's going to be a mix of new versus old, a team we know a bit about versus a team we don't know much about. It's going to be fun. But that said, because we've gone through an entire season, I think it's time to take a look back at some of the highlights that we have seen throughout this split. And we're specifically the past 3 weeks. So week 8, 9, 10, there's been some fun little highlights, some good memories, and seeing how we got to this point.
Roll the clip.
But they're taking this down very slowly. Of course, Israel's not running on those high DPS champions. Aatrox as well doesn't do much.
Hey, Purple's walking right in there. Actually gets the silence on everyone. JFK's AFK gets a 3-man taunt. We are seeing a crazy Baron fight right now. And Ham Yellow gets first blood within it. It actually looks to be going SBC's color way as 2 members of Trace League go down. The backline has no help. That's going to be an ace. A clean wipe for SBCC colors. And they're going to get that Baron to boot. They're going to attempt to steal right now, but they may be too little late. True Sharp Barrage does not do enough damage, and the Baron will go in favor to SBCC. The ensuing fight, however, is going to be started with a heroic entrance coming from this Galio. AD Carry has nowhere to go, and he will be the first one to fall, falling to AM Purple. Meanwhile, on the other side as well, an ultimate was dropped on the summer. He will be the next to go, and SBC have taken out 2 members of Crazy League and want more. It's actually 3 down, and the 4th will be OGG. The last member, Kung Fu Monk, has to try and 1v5 to save this game from ending, but I do not see him being able to get away from Hey I'm Black. One more ability will do it. There is your ace, and there is your game. SPCC will maintain on top of the ladder. A forward push for this Baron. Here comes the teleport. Merc might be in a lot of trouble, but it does appear as Legacy is going to re-engage, bursting down Critomeister. No Tristana could be trouble for the blue side. Pop Lawson connects with 2, but it's not the 2 that they want. Look at the top of the map. That is where Kaisa is. As the bot sides continue to crash into each other, everyone's sort of focusing on individual targets, and right now it's a fairly even fight. However, Legacy does seem to be pulling away. AC is the last person left for the Sparkle Squad, and he will get run down by Steven and Pleb. Away goes Skull. There is your ace going over to Pleb, and it is a clean fight win for Legacy. They're each death pushing. We have mirror matching death pushes, but it does appear so. No! He didn't know where it was. Active, he goes for the wrong place, and they cut off the backside of that engage. All of a sudden, Miramac has no idea what is going on. Death Sentence connecting onto the Tristana. Cratermaster goes down, and that should be the fight. An easy cleanup for Legacy. Cud will be the next one to go. A double kill going to Jack's project, as poor AC is the last man left standing. Skull runs for his life. A triple kill for Jack. Canterbury has both top and bot wave pushing in their favor as action comes out. Pyromaniac is sniping down Septimus, and the team follow-up is there. It is kill after kill. 3 members down for KG2, and they want more. Poor Slice has to try and flash to get away with the ultimate, is unable to escape the Marn, and that is nearly an ace. Rowdy, last person left, gets the Cataclysm on 2, but he is not going to survive the might of Canterbury. There is your ace. There is an inhibitor. This might even be game. Might be next to follow. Ignite has been dropped onto this Caitlyn to hold her back. Pinkcoat doing so much work, and the second Nexus Tower may go down. Pyromaniac was ignited. That is also a little bit of a pick on the Rakonda. He got executed, actually. Crescendo missions Marn, who somehow stays alive. Take a look at the bottom side of the map. They're trying to run members down as Marn doing so much work before going himself. Pinkcoat, last member alive for Canterbury, trying to escape from both Slice and Retro Skies, but the damage is there. That is another kill. And in the end, the Shy, who snuck out earlier, is the last person left alive for Canterbury, but this could be a Baron for KG2.
Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed that little highlights package looking back at the last 3 weeks. Heaps of nice plays in there from the schools, and of course, we'll do a nice little interview with our generous compatriot here, Tim. So first, I'm going to ask you, how was the high school program really born, and where did the idea come?
Yeah, so the idea came from myself and my co-founder, Zach. We saw a gap in the market, and Riot Games were looking for organizations to run the high school program in different states in Australia and New Zealand. We put in a bid. We thought we could provide a great studio, some great students to help put the production together, and also use our facility to really engage a lot of the surrounding high schools.
Yeah.
And it's worked out just like that. So we see a lot of high school students coming in, look at the facility and play their games here. We've seen obviously you guys getting involved as well. And there's a lot of like team behind the stage. And obviously people working up in the UQ Esports Center to really make all of this happen. Yeah. So yeah, it's all just kind of taken off.
Yeah, I like definitely how you're bringing up the fact how, a lot of the schools have been coming in here to play as well. I mean, for example, for our match today, actually, Forest Lake, they're coming to use the facilities to actually have their match. And
Second time
they've done it, because they did it last week as well, and they won last week as well. Could be an omen for today.
I'm a big Forest Lake fan. I'm a big Forest Lake fan. I'm rooting for them today. So good luck, Forest Lake.
So how many schools have come and actually visited and checked out the centre through the high school program?
Yeah, so I think we've had about 10 or so schools kind of walk through. We get schools constantly coming through checking out the facilities, but in particular the program. Not too many schools. A lot of schools are from like all over, from the Gold Coast, Sunshine Coast, inner city Brisbane, and metro areas. So they like to play at their own centres in their own schools or at the comfort of their own home. So a bit of a mix.
Definitely too, and I think it's a cool trend. I think that's been something I've talked about a lot on this desk before, how there's a lot of schools and universities, UQ being a shining example of it, who have to sort of step up and really embrace this esports thing. So I imagine it's been really like a good experience, I suppose, working with a lot of these schools. I know Chisholm comes to mind because they have a strong esports program as well, and like being able to cooperate with them.
Yeah, it's all about building esports in high schools and just making them excited, encouraging them and inspiring them to build their own programs inside their own school. And then when they graduate, coming to UQ and having the same great experience. It's just crazy how many teams have gotten on board for this season. Really grateful for all the teachers and the students and the parents that are putting a lot of hard work and effort into participating in the matches every time, 5 p.m. every Tuesday night.
I guess continuing on from that as well, though, because this is a league tournament. I know UQ Esports doesn't just do league, though. There are other games that you've been sort of helping along as well.
Absolutely.
I mean, you've done some casting yourself for Battlefield, I believe it was.
It wasn't Battlefield, it was Call of Duty. Call of Duty. So yeah, we host a lot of tournaments here at the University of Queensland from, I won't say the other MOBA title, but Call of Duty, CSGO, Rocket League, and a bunch of, like, literally whatever you want to play, you can play. We have so many pro players at the University of Queensland that use our facility or we support. So a lot of people from Legacy, the organisation that play StarCraft, we host them here. And we have a StarCraft LAN coming up soon. But yeah, there's such a big League of Legends culture here at the University of Queensland. There's a whole club where they socialise and hang out and participate in matches and you meet new friends. You even go to the university bar and have a drink and some food and stuff and watch the matches. So there's a great culture here at UQ for League of Legends. And that's what I want to promote.
Yeah, I want to actually add on to that as well, by the way. After the streams end, don't go too far away. In fact, go over to the UQ LoL Esports, not LoL Esports, it's UQ LoL as a club? Is that what they're saying? No. Point is, there is the sort of inter-campus grand final happening right after this one today. So there's a lot of league happening tonight. I know you're going to be there watching.
I'll be watching. You're plugging in because you're casting, right?
Oh, yes, I am.
If you want to catch more of me and Max casting games, head over to UQ LoL or twitch.tv/UQ LoL. It's just casting. Can I bring you back to the league? Obviously, I know UQ just recently launched an OCS team, which is shut up, Max. An interesting escapade into the professional League of Legends scene. But what is kind of idea behind that whole OCS team? Because I know obviously a different university here in Queensland also went for that. But
so I guess for us it was all about encouraging students and finding them pathways into the OCS, into the OPL. We do have a lot of connections with owners of OPL teams and OCS teams as well. But for us, owning a team was really important because it gave us a direct pathway into the league. Max is laughing because he casted a game last week and we lost really badly. We were up 15k gold. We went for Baron 3 times. And I just don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm just going to walk off. I'm kidding. Next week we'll do a lot better. But hey, it's the OCS. There's a lot of trial and error. These kids are new. They're trying new things. The coaches are also new to the game, so they're still learning the meta and they're still giving it a good crack. But yeah, if you're a University of Queensland student, we can give you an opportunity to try out for the OCS team. It's a great pathway into OPL.
It is, and I mean that's just it. It's a pathway into OPL. It's a pathway to take a love for esports into a professional environment and actually possibly turn a career out of it. And that's something that I think is a common goal throughout everyone that is working with this program.
And that's the key, right? We want to be able to promote students that can study, that can train in league, and then go out and be a pro and graduate with that degree. Please a lot of people and have a bit of security about your future career after League of Legends, but at the same time having that balance. So a great example, if you guys know MidBeast, a really famous streamer, went to the University of Queensland, studied journalism at the same time, streamed a lot, learned a lot of the skills that he learned in journalism, and actually transferred them over to a Twitch stream. And now he streams to Team Liquid, right? So it's super important for us to encourage that within our students. And I think the high school program is a great indication to see which future students are the shining examples of what we want to see here at UQ. Hopefully, fingers crossed, scholarships are on the way soon, where students can actually get a free ride throughout the university. And play League of Legends and train and study. And Max is just...
I get every single time something like this happens, I'm very old school, so it still blows my mind. Like, my thoughts are going back to sort of the States and your football scholarship or your basketball scholarship. And just the concept that, congratulations, we are now at a stage, League of Legends or esports sponsorship is something that can be brought to the table. And it's not far-fetched. Like, it actually does make sense.
And there's so many opportunities. It's not just being a player. There's you can be a caster, right? For example, George, who was on the broadcast a couple of weeks ago, he won the Melbourne State Finals with his team down in Melbourne. Now he's up here studying dentistry. He doesn't have enough time to play competitively, but understands the meta pretty well and can analyze and commentate games because he's been a veteran in the scene, right? So there's so many opportunities. It's not just playing. It could be broadcasting. It could be event management. It could be so many things. So if you're a high school student in year 12 and you want to apply for the University of Queensland Preference 1, I would do so because we have this crazy, awesome high school program and crazy, awesome university esports program.
And now, with that out of the way, though, it's time to really get into what I think the people at home want to watch, and that is, it's league time. It's Forest Lakes versus KG3. You said before you think Forest Lakes got this.
Well, I see them in the room. They're training hard. I like the synergy between the players, and they played really well. The other time. So, as you know, Kelvin Grove, they have a lot of teams. They can scrim against each other. They have that advantage. But I really think Forest Lake, there's something about a team that I think can really push them ahead of Kelvin Grove 3.
I mean, they are undefeated right now as well, of course, Forest Lake. One of those teams to kind of join us a little bit later throughout the split. So they're in this tiebreaker because they've just been completely undefeated. We see their roster on the blue side today. Up on the top lane, they got VeryBadBunny in the jungle, Ractic in the mid lane. Oh, God. Biokbobny?
Biokbobny.
Biokbobny. In the AD carry, we got BakaKami, and in support, this Venus 16710.
Yeah, I mean, Forest Lake, I think, is a very interesting team looking at them. I do think there are some big question marks for them. 3 of their players are coming into this off role. So it's not as if everyone's going to be in their most comfortable position. That said, there are some trends that I've noticed that they've had. They like, maybe more assassin bursty mids. Their supports like to be hard engages. And, these are trends that either you play to your strengths or perhaps it's a weakness that KG3 can expose. I do think the fact that they've had less sort of tournament time might hurt them more than help them. This sort of mystique factor doesn't really apply as much in this league as it would be in like the OPL or something.
Yeah, of course.
But when you're undefeated, momentum's on your side, so there's definitely a lot going in Forest Lake's favor.
I mean, the other thing you do the undefeated run, like, you don't know if they've, obviously, when they come in new, they play against a team with 0 wins, so they could have nice, easier games, and it might be a little bit of a challenge stepping up in these tiebreaker, high-pressure scenarios, which could go either way, right? So it's going to be very interesting to see how they play. I mean, I have faith in them as well. I think they'll do quite well. But also, obviously, Kelvin Grove as a school has been really big in this program, and it would be good to see them succeed. So they entered, I think, 5 teams, right, into the program.
And so this is the tiebreaker, right? So it's knockout.
This is it. If you lose, you're done. If you win, you're into the finals.
If you win this, you move on to the top 16, which won't be happening for a couple weeks.
No,
so after this,
school holidays, we're taking a break.
School holidays. We're going to be taking a break before we get to that, so teams will have time to prepare and strategize for that. But you have to make it there first. And for Forest Lake to do that, they're going to have to beat Kelvin Grove 3. Now, as mentioned before, Kelvin Grove does have a lot of teams, but for KG3, we have FlareLG in the top lane, LeBaguetteSexy in jungle, Devil's Tango in the mid lane, VeryStalEMeme at AD carry, and Soup Time on support. Now, KG3 is an interesting one because we saw them play earlier, actually. If people who have been regularly watching this stream may remember, week 5, so it was the first week before our first break, this team did come out and they did partake. However, these roles will look very different and mixed up. In fact, pretty much everyone, except for VeryStalEMeme, is now playing in a different position. So while Forest Lake has 3 off roles, KG3 is actually looking at potentially 4. Do you think this will even the battlefield a bit more, or is just KG3 found what they're comfortable on?
I think KG3 definitely, obviously they've played a lot of games, so they've had a lot of experiments. So when sometimes you come into these tournaments, obviously you're all solo queue players, so you play maybe 1 or 2 roles, couple of champions, right? And you just got to see which players working with positions, which champion pools match up. And given they've had so many games, I think this is probably the right fit for their team, and hopefully they'll be able to help this secure a victory today.
Yeah, I mean, I do kind of feel like that's happening. I know each of you were kind of on thinking Forest Lake has this. I'm leaning more towards KG3. I just think from what we saw from them before as well, they were successful, and they were successful through VeryStalememe in that bot lane. He had a super successful Jinx game, sort of just ran right over his opponents, and he's the one consistent here. He's the one who sort of stayed in that position, and if everyone else is kind of more comfortable where they are, I think that's only going to help enable him a bit more.
You got to remember though, they're on a 2 game losing streak, right?
Yes.
So I think when you look at it momentum-wise, I think Forest Lake really has the advantage here. Kelvin Grove, maybe they haven't been practicing as much, maybe they've been slacking off. Who knows? I'm making assumptions here. But if I was Kelvin Grove 3, I would have been training hard for this match because it's a big deal, right? So maybe we'll see some really cool plays.
It's definitely a big deal for them, and especially when you have your older brother KG4 sitting up on top of the entire ladder, undefeated, and it's just like you have to live up to that shadow, right? Yeah. So I think that could be more pressure as well for this team to do well. But also, I'd like to think KG4 would be mentoring and sort of teaching and trying to help them prepare for this match. It's definitely tricky, and I like how you touched on momentum, because momentum is huge. Mindset is huge. We've covered it a few weeks now here, and sort of maintaining that positive mindset. And I think that is going to be a real question mark and test for KG3.
Yeah, I think so. Most definitely. I mean, another thing I like about KG3 is they've really adapted to this whole play on VeryStalememe. Right? They've moved their mid laner, which is a bit of a carry up to the top side, so they've got that side of the map isolated for him. They've moved their mid laner down to support, and they're supporting to the jungle. So obviously, if you're a support player, you play in the jungle, very familiar in that bot lane, and can play maybe some more supportive jungler picks like Sejuani or an Ivan or something like that, which really helps enable your AD carry to really take over a game and carry you out.
Yeah, it's definitely those sort of flexibility, flex picks, super important.
You know who I want to see? I want to see Teemo again.
No.
We haven't seen Teemo since that first week.
No, we're not seeing Teemo again.
It was Bumblebee Teemo.
I mean,
did they win?
No. We've seen Teemo twice, actually. We have seen Teemo twice on stream right now. Sorry to correct you, boss. But we have seen him twice, and both Teemos have unfortunately failed spectacularly.
Hashtag Teemo buff in the chat.
Please, no. Don't.
Could you imagine?
No, Teemo, please.
He'd be huge.
Get him out, no.
But that said, though, if we're going to talk about champions that we might see, I think it's important to note, no Yuumi yet.
No.
And this is the newest champion, and she is just as adorable as Teemo is. Do you think that this is going to be the time where Yuumi actually is busted out?
Look, I could definitely see Yuumi on the side of KG3, given the fact they're going to play through our bot side. And if they can enable a more supportive mid laner or a jungle pick for VeryStalememe, I think if they go for a full protect comp, Mordekaiser isn't out yet, so you can still play that strategy. Maybe. And Yuumi is very strong, but Yuumi is one of those champions who, if you're very proficient on her, she's super strong. But if you're not completely aware of how to use her passive correctly or using her abilities, or your AD carry synergy isn't good enough to help learn those long range Qs, right? The champion's really not as effective. So it's very similar to like a Zed or a Yasuo or an Echo, where the champion's really, really good if you can play them to their max potential. But if you're not reaching that, it's not that strong. My
only concern with seeing Yuumi on a team like KG3 is I'm just not sure that that's in Soup Time's sort of repertoire.
Yeah.
He likes to play his actually more aggressive, sort of, as much as you hate to admit it, the mage support, like your Brands, your Zillions, your even, Pikes at times. And if it's not that, then maybe it's more peely. So I would be a bit surprised, but at the same time, I've seen Yuumi's do some crazy things already, so I wouldn't. It's definitely an option.
Will we see Hecarim?
Probably.
It's my favorite.
In some facets. I mean, Hecarim feels so strong right now, right?
Hecarim is nuts.
And do you think these high school students are reading the recent patch notes and who's been buffed and who's been nerfed?
I think we're going to find out when we move into picks and bans, because that's an important thing. And that comes from infrastructure, that comes from study and how dedicated you are to the team. And at this stage, I would hope both of these teams are. Because it is do or die, because there is a lot on the line. You really want to make sure you're on top of how this game might be adapting. And it's a good point because it brings up the constant discussion, comfort versus meta. In a perfect world, you get both. I still am one to lean more towards comfort over meta. I think you are the opposite.
I think comfort over meta is 100% to a certain degree, right? Where you can play. if you can play something simple that fits the meta, sure, I'd play that over something that's super comfortable. But comfort's always better because then you're familiar. You're more focused on, especially in low elo. You want to one-trick a champion because then you're not worried about trading, you're not worried about what your abilities do, this kind of stuff. You can just focus on the basics of the game, roaming, warding, this kind of very simple stuff, and you're not worrying about everything else. So obviously you play better that way, right? Yep. But if you're playing some meta, like if you feel, God, Akali's strong right now, I'll play Akali, no play the champion for you. Worried, what are these buttons? Do you focus on this stuff rather than actually laning and playing the game? So it depends, right? Like if something like Morgana mid's meta, very simple, easy champion to play. You can play that versus your assassins.
Yep. I think here we go. We're going.
Yeah, I think we might be going in, which means, unfortunately, Tim,
no,
it's time to say goodbye.
Thanks,
I'd like to thank you very much for coming on the desk with us. Very insightful, but yet is correct. We have moved on to our picks and bans. Forest Lake on the blue side, Kelvin Grove 3 on the red side. Everything on the line. Where will that first ban be? It will be the brand.
Love that ban. It's a great ban. I see that ban in every game in my solo queue. It's absolutely fantastic to see that champion gotten taken rid of. Jayce as well, being another champion on the ban list, very strong, and I think both played by Ractic and VeryBadBunny. Super strong. Jayce is actually really strong right now just because he just can take over games late, gives that permanent win condition, and he's really good early games at jungler especially.
I mean, yeah, I'm super not surprised to see Jayce actually banned away by KG3, only because, like, Jayce is actually played by 4 of the summoners in this match. He is very high priority pick. Tim leaves. As he exits the room, Hecarim leaves any chances of being played as well. Kind of poetic in that sense. But yeah, Jayce, just the flexibility, the fact that everyone plays him, get him off of the table. Yep. Yasuo, a common pick by Biokbobny. So not surprised there. A lot of comfort picks actually being targeted right now.
Which is generally what you want to do in these like lower or like iron to gold kind of tournaments. You want to focus a comfort, get them off something they're familiar with, and maybe make them force into something meta. I really like the Morgana Hecarim ban as well. Very easy champions to play. Really strong as well, especially the Hecarim is super overpowered. So to get that getting rid of is something very ideal. And Morgana, very easy to play support, blocks a lot of hard engaged champs, so maybe that's something that Venus is looking to play down the bot side.
Yes, Aatrox will be the last ban. A lot of bans actually being targeted towards VeryBadBunny right now. I feel like Jayce, Aatrox, and even a bit of Yasuo could go that way. Urgot, smart first pick. I mean, he's pretty strong. It's a tough matchup for a lot of top laners, and it will be locked in.
Yeah, I mean, Urgot's kind of fallen out of meta. He's still kind of playable with the new Conqueror build, but it's just so many other options that are more viable right now. Like I think the All or Silas is a good pick, especially since he has those champions in his repertoire. The Aatrox ban as well, really strong after his new rework, and I like the Yorick here, answer from FlareLG.
Yeah, Yorick is a good answer. It's one of the, as I said, Urgot has a lot of tough matches, but I feel like Yorick isn't one of those ones that gets punished by it. So definitely opening up a lot of sideline pressure already out of KG3. LeBaguetteSexy, the next hover. I'm curious if they'll pick for a different role or continue down the lines, and we'll see a jungler here. We will be seeing the jungler. It will be Kayn.
I'm pretty sure LeBaguetteSexy is a Kayn one trick, no?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah. It is his priority. Like, it has been his main champion so far, at least in solo queue. Obviously, last time was here, he was in the mid lane. But yeah, not too surprising to see that. However, I do like what Forest Lake is doing right now. They're branching away from picking roles exactly, and we're going straight to the bot side. Get that Jinx away from VeryStaleMeme. Take it for yourself. BakaKami going to be playing that, psychopath with the guns. Yeah, Jinx has been very strong actually ever since he got buffed a couple patches ago. Really strong pulls with IE Hurricanes. Now it's viable again on the champion. Very easy to play as well, especially for these kind of elo players. You kind of just sit there, right click with your rockets, and you do AoE teamfight damage, kill everybody. Nice pick. I don't know. Akali in the mid lane though. I mean, interesting pick. Maybe you could consider it flex pick, but I don't think so. I think you'll be lucky going in the mid lane. And Jayce to answer the Akali in the mid lane. Yeah, both mid laners are opting for comfort right here. Biokbobny has historically been an assassin player. Likes his assassins. It's always risky taking that blind Akali, and I feel against Devil's Tango's Jayce, there is potential for that to get bullied out, but Devil's Tango is also sort of one of those mid laners who likes the Siegers. He likes his Jayce. He's liked his Vel'Koz in the past. So each of them are kind of going playing their style. They're going for comfort, not too much of a surprise. And now we're going to see, a lot of bans being targeted towards that bot side. Get rid of Blitzcrank, get rid of Kai'Sa again, sort of getting rid of the comfort. Yeah, I mean, it's very interesting, these draft strategies as well. They've kind of gone for, picking both the top laner and the mid laner straight away, which is, quite different. You see, you're going to be targeting the supports and AD carries, of course, only roles that haven't really been locked in yet. I do expect, of course, Forest Lake to ban at 2 AD carries. Force VeryStaleMeme the kind of the carry here for KG3 onto something that he's not really comfortable with at all. Yeah, I'm very curious which spam we're going to see next. I'd like to see Ezreal taken away. I think Ezreal is just super strong right now. VeryStalEMEME has been the kind of player who proves he can really play any AD carry at a high level. So Ezreal is the one who I would not want to see. Instead, they're going to opt to get rid of the Lulu. I feel actually this kind of opens KG3 for a strong poke.
Twitch Yumi? Oh wait, poke comp. Yeah, I think Ezreal and maybe a
Varus perhaps could be strong as well.
Varus could be good. I don't want to go Varus thing because you double up on lethality, right? But
True.
Twitch Yumi? Yeah, maybe.
Twitch Yumi. I mean, yeah, Yumi is still up.
I think it's a good pick for either side, really. Yeah.
I like Xin into Kayn. I like Xin into Kayn a lot. I will go into that a bit more later, why I specifically like that. You're shaking your head no, as if I'm way off base. And then we're seeing Nautilus locked in, so a bit of front line as well.
Don't pick Janna. Please don't pick Janna into Nautilus.
Ooh, that's tough.
Just pick Yumi instead. Okay, no, you're going to go for the Janna. I really don't like the Janna pick here, especially with the Twitch. It's either these Twitch or Janna get caught with a Nautilus hook. That's pretty much a guaranteed kill for Jinx. Janna's one of those champions who's kind of never really been played ever since better options were into the meta. Like, she was only played for Art and Sensor because she could use the item. But, you know, she's really never been a good support ever since then. Just so squishy and so hard to actually get anything out of the champion. She kind of just has an AFK lane phase, doesn't do any damage, doesn't really provide any lane power, and it's just so squishy whenever she gets caught by an ability, she gets insta-killed. So I think Janna's going to be... I mean, this game could swing very hard one way or the other. If the Janna gets caught on this bottom lane, you're going to see this Jinx get huge and allow the Akali and the Urgot to both snowball off this lead that the Jinx is going to make in the bot lane. Xin Zhao as well is going to have huge jungle pressure since Kayn's just going to want a hard farm early on. I mean, it's going to be very, very hard for KG3 to win this game just based on draft because there is very little to no synergy with the late game champions.
Well, I agree. Yeah, their team composition might not have the synergy. I'm not actually going to be harsh on the Janna as you are. I can actually see what they were thinking with this one, and it's all around that ultimate. Forest Lake is running a pretty hard dive composition right now. You have Xin, Akali, and Nautilus who all want to try and jump on someone, and a well-timed ultimate out of this Janna might be what KG3 thinks they need in order to turn a team fight around. That is what I'm hoping they're going to be going for. Also, Janna's poke, if you position correctly, does exist. Zephyr does a deceptive amount of damage if they decide to max it first, and I actually can see a world where Soup Time is able to poke out the Venus. So I'm not as harsh on that Janna pick as you are. That said, I actually probably would have liked a different support. I do agree it might not be the ideal one in this situation. I actually would have liked to see Soup Time Zillion coming into play with this one. I think that would have been a bit stronger. But that's only one matchup. That's only the bot. I think really KG3 as a whole, yes, their team fight might be in trouble and they don't really want those 5-on-5s, but this team comp isn't really meant for that. Like, you have good poke out of Devil's Tango, you have good split push out of Yorick and FlareLG. Each of them in what I feel definitely could be winning lanes for them. The only issue actually comes from Ractic on that Xin Zhao because he has the ability to invade and harass LeBaguetteSexy.
The only other thing that I can maybe think of, just like KG3's comp, like each lane is good, but just together they don't really work. They've got a nice 1-3-1 comp with Jayce Yorick if they really want to execute it correctly, but they haven't got a heavy wave clear AD carry support duo. Like maybe if the Kayn can get a red evolve, then the Kayn can maybe help those three out and they can really set up a 1-3-1. But I think the win conditions to enable that kind of strategy for them is so slim, they have to pay almost flawlessly to try to execute that. Yeah,
it's definitely a case of win lane, win game for KG3. They need to get in those lanes that hard that they start to snowball, where even if they get caught in a team fight that might not be ideal for them, they are that far ahead in terms of item, gold, and possibly positioning that they can turn it around and win it that way. That said, Forest Lake, they're not just a straight up team fight though. Akali Xin Zhao can be very deadly if anyone sort of gets caught out of position.
Yeah.
I do like this mid-jungle synergy, and if Biokbobny is actually able to hold his own and maybe find opportunities to sort of sneak out of that mid lane and roam, they could be devastating for either FlareLG or more likely VeryStalEMEME.
Yeah, especially because the Janna is not going to provide a lot of assistance against the Nautilus, Xin Zhao, and Akali, because they're all time their engages is only 2 disengage options on the champion. So, I mean, I definitely think that Forest Lake's comp here is a lot more safe, I suppose, because generally like you go, okay, look, if you go lane by lane, top lane Yorick, Urgot, Farmfest, both champions are kind of decent. Yorick's really good on the side lanes later. Urgot's a bit better of a team fighter. Jungle, you go Xin Zhao, Kayn. Xin Zhao hard wins early. Kayn hard outscales, going to get really good at late game. Jayce, Akali. Jayce hard wins a lane early. Late game, they're kind of even. Akali's going to one-shot you if he gets on top of you, but depends on the mechanical skill of the Akali, of course, to get ahead. Bot lane, Jinx, Nautilus, Twitch Janna. They both want to farm, get heavy. Nautilus beats the Janna in a pure 1v1. So all lanes are kind of very even and could swing either way. But the biggest thing is there's a jungler, right? So when you're playing top, when you're playing mid, it's always a 2v2 because you got to think about where the enemy jungle is, especially in mid lane because it's so easy, so many gank options, right? Which completely flips the matchup. And then the early game mid lane to try to like transition the Twitch into his late game phase is kind of irrelevant because you can't win the Jayce Kayn 2v2 against Xin Zhao Akali. They have so much damage early on and they're so strong that there's really nothing that the Jayce can do in this 2v1 or 2v2 with the Kayn.
Speaking of the Kayn, though, I am curious, which color do you think this Kayn is going to go, looking at the matchups? Because
I mean, I think red Kayn is 100% better in every scenario. Even though blue Kayn got buffed, I think red Kayn is just better, especially in competitive, because he just has so much healing. He can never die. He's really tanky off a CC. With a blue Kayn, whenever you see a blue Kayn in solo queue, he's always 0-15. Every single time, or at least 1 in 15, right? Compared to the Akali in the Jayce. Not Jayce. Red Kayn, sorry, who always does really, really once he gets that evolve.
I do agree, but the only issue I have with that is how is he going to ensure he gets that red Kayn? Because unless he's getting damage down onto either like this Venus or VeryBadBunny, or is running into Ractic in the jungle, which I'm not sure he wants to do, the easier option I feel is almost to kind of go after the Jinx, perhaps, as I believe we have hit a bit of a pause, unfortunately. So we will be getting to our game shortly.
Yeah,
it's going to be hard, I feel, Kayn to really set himself up for that red Kayn, which is what I do agree it would probably be more beneficial, especially because the team needs some semblance of a front line or engage or crowd control.
I mean, I think definitely it depends on how this Kayn's going to path, right? Kayn's one of those champions right now with the meta got changed around with the new scuttle spawning that he functions very well off this ability to full farm his red side jungle and then go for a nice little invade path. However, I don't know if the LeBaguetteSexy obviously transitioning from the support role knows these kind of jungle paths, etc. And if he can play the Kayn well, he's definitely keen to. He can very easily out-tempo the Xin Zhao because Kayn's clear is one of the best in the game, right? Super one-shots single camps and absolutely demolishes AoE camps with these big Q sweep, right? So Kayn can farm the jungle very quickly, and if he can do that efficiently, then I think there's a big option for him to come take over this game once he gets that late game, once he gets that red form. But if Xin Zhao can outpath him, I think it's going to be there's no really available win conditions here for KG3.
Yeah, level 1s and jungle pathings are going to be very interesting for me, and I'm very curious to see where LeBaguetteSexy starts, because depending on which camp he starts, I think will tell us a lot by what kind of jungler he is. I'd like to see him start at Raptors. I feel that is the optimal Kayn start, but I see a lot of Kayns go straight for either that red buff or that blue buff, and I go, you can actually be a bit faster, a little bit.
Yeah, they do the classic Raptors kite into red buff start, red buff Krogs, invade blue Grom. And then you've taken over the entire side of the map, and there's not much they can do. It's very optimal that way, and then you just completely take over the jungle, and it allows you to safely farm for the rest of the game. Because there's a new pathing career high, which is literally just the jungle. You just only farm your red side jungle. You only farm your Krugs, Raptors, and red. You don't farm any other camps because Krugs and Raptors are so XP and gold efficient that it's just not worth your time to go farm those other camps when you can just farm those two and then gank the bot lane or the closest side lane.
Yeah, get top or bot, depending on which side you're on. I find that interesting. That reminds me of the old Predator path, where you sort of would start off with just those camps and then go straight to the opposite side scuttle, pop you'd have the boots by then, you pop the Predator, slam the mid lane, get yourself an early kill and start to snowball. That was the old Hecarim and Gragas, I believe, were the ones who did that.
That was a very popular Gragas path, Yeah, it was a clear your red side, back, boots, blue, scuttle, gank. And then changed the scuttle timing, and then I was like, oh, can't do that anymore.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I do miss the old scuttle timing. I think I like the old scuttle timing because it did encourage, I feel, a bit more of those early fights, which, granted, the junglers who I usually play actually are terrible.
I mean the old. I mean like the scuttle. The one that was like 215. The one was like was it 130? No, it wasn't 130. The one was like 145.
That one. I'm talking about even that change to pushing it 30 seconds back has just stopped so many of like your ability to level 1 or level 2 cheese the other jungler as they're trying to get the scuttle. I used to do that all the time with Nocturne because no one expects a level 2 Nocturne fight. But when you get your fear and if your Q hits and they're already sitting on half health, like they're dead.
Yeah.
And it was
I just miss the old Kha'Zix path where you would go buff, sit in there red buff, wait for them to come up, QW, smite the buff, take it away, walk out of the jungle, free as. That was so much fun, especially when you had that ultimate where he's permanently invisible.
Oh, yeah.
Take me back to those days. I mean, Kha'Zix was legit permanent Ben.
The old Kha'Zix ult was something to behold, as I believe we are getting closer to getting back into the game right now. Yes, here we are. Fantastic. As we're into this matchup. Thank you for sticking with us after that delay. Once again, it is Forest Lake on the blue side, KG3 on the red side, and everyone seems to be in this game, even Kayn, despite the fact he doesn't have any items.
Again, classic high school game, no items on a champion. Hopefully he realizes this, he's recalling now and going to be able to pick that up. Looks like he's going to start topside. I'm happy with this so far from the Kayn. I hope this Xin Zhao is really going to play around his lane super early. I really want him to get this Akali lane fed and then go down in the bot lane because this Nautilus plus the Xin Zhao engage on Twitch or Janna could be very lethal early on.
Definitely it could be. As we're seeing LeBaguetteSexy, he is returning back to the same spot where he was at before. No one's risking in those invades, no deep wards going down this time around. Pretty stock standards, protect that line of scrimmage. Granted, there is a little bit of an exposed lane for KG3 if they had opted for sort of that top route. I do know there are some like amateur tournament teams, like not high school, but other amateur tournament teams that like it's almost their signature to do that, but not going to happen this time. And we are seeing LeBaguetteSexy start on the Raptors.
I really want the Ractic here to path red Raptors, clear the first 2 big skulls and instantly gank bot before they have level 3. I think that's a huge option window because I'm pretty sure Janna doesn't take Tornado until level 2, right? She goes Zephyr Tornado and then she doesn't get a third ability.
It depends which Janna is playing. I mean, honestly, I usually don't get the Tornado till level 4.
Yeah, so
I usually go Zephyr Shield, Zephyr Tornado.
Because especially if Janna levels like that, right, you're going to show up with a Xin Zhao 3 minutes into the game, and there's going to be absolutely nothing. Well, not only 3 minutes, like 2.5 minutes into the game. I think this Twitch Janna's going to die instantly. Put your Jinx ahead. Oh, there's Tornado level 1 there from the Janna.
Yeah, that's definitely not what I usually do.
That's not what you want.
It's not what you want, but you can sort of understand the logic behind it, only because there is a Xin Zhao. You have to be wary of that level 2 gank, and I suppose that is the best disengage.
Well, Xin Zhao's past topside here, so it's...
True. I mean, yeah, it's not relevant this time, but they didn't have vision. They didn't know where it was going to be. The other thing, though, which I want to point out is Soup Time is just throwing out those tornadoes left, right, and center right now, and I'm not sure that's the correct ability to be using to harass.
No, definitely not. I think you want to harass with your Zephyr because you get the slow on, get the autos, gives you a little bit of a damage buff as well, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. And a very nice way to help land those tornadoes afterwards as well.
Oh, well, we're seeing one connect, however. That said, it's definitely not going to stop and engage, but you have to be careful. Like, I would like to see the Venus and BakaKami actually capitalize. Tornadoes down, look to engage right then and there, because that is their primary CC out of the picture, and you have an engagey bot side.
Yeah, exactly. Your Nautilus, once he gets that Aftershock proc, he's almost unkillable, and you can pretty much take down one of them instantly.
Yeah, so very risky play coming out of Soup Time. That said, I do like the patience coming out of Forest Lake right now. Important to take a look back at where these junglers are at the moment. We saw Ractic actually kind of looking potentially to get topside, gets that ward, but then kind of backs away right before the scuttle shows up.
Really nice wave management there on topside, but a very bad, really good wave management there by VeryBadBunny up on the top side. You see FlareLG is so low right now because VeryBadBunny was able to bring up that huge slow push there with those big minion waves. It means that Flare can never really Q trade with the Urgot, where he can just sit in the wave and just spam his AoE abilities and just completely trade out him. So big trade there. You don't really think about how much damage minions do right early on. So really good there from the top side from Forest Lake.
Something else that I actually feel like worth pointing out now, just in terms of how early game tempo and how it's going, is in this mid lane right now. I'm surprised to see Biokbobny actually getting a significant CS lead by about a wave right now over Devil's Tango. Not what you would normally expect.
No, generally you see the Jayce hard pushing in the Akali, obviously with the Q AoE. Going to do a lot more poke damage and just a range versus melee, right? You expect the range to have the advantage. Maybe it's not as much knowledge on
action in the top side right now. VeryBadBunny actually getting chalked out a bit, but it's bot side where the action is about to be. LeBaguetteSexy was looking for a gank, and BakaKami is quite low. Venus goes in on VeryStalEMEME, and a follow-up flash. Unfortunately, BakaKami won't go down even with that ignite. So in the end, no one dies. Teleport though being used by BakaKami. I thought that may have been the Urgot. This is not good for the Akali in sort of a 3v1 situation. Backup is here though in the form of Ractic as we cut back to the top side before going back to bot. Ractic trying to bring down LeBaguetteSexy. Heal is used. Teleport coming down. This has to be FlareLG, who actually had his teleport stopped. Good play by VeryBadBunny, who now is stuck into a 1v1 situation. Flashes a bit prematurely. I think he would have won that exchange. In the end, low health bars across the board, no one dead.
No, I mean, a very nice gank there from LeBaguetteSexy. Good engage by the Janna getting the slowdown. Some teleport, some of the uses are very questionable by both sides there. Teleport from the Akali, I don't know why Akali has teleport in the first place. And also the flash from Nautilus, I think, could have been held as well for a little bit longer. I don't think that was necessary. Had his hook coming up soon as well, so could have just queued out of it, I suppose. Yeah,
definitely there was a bit premature in terms of both teleports and flashes, I feel, from both sides. Good job by VeryBadBunny, though, in order to stop FlareLG from joining that fight. Mid lane right now, Okay, has to be careful. Devil's Tango has the damage, has the ignite, but I'm not sure it's their first blood to the Akali.
It was a great trade by the Jayce until he took a tower shot and started tanking all the minions, and then Akali just went, oh, you're 1 HP. Let me just quickly get a nice little Q auto here. Thank you for fighting in my shroud. There's Ractic.
Ractic! Oh no! The Raptors are hungry! They're running him down, and oh, there's your execute! Ractic!
Oh, you hate to see it. You hate to see it, don't you? Execute in the jungle. After going for a nice little play bot side, Xin Zhao went to go clear his Raptors. Didn't have his W off cooldown and unfortunately falls there to the jungle camp.
It was like the Lost World. Those Raptors just running him down.
Smite up as well.
Yes, but you can't smite the small Raptors.
Yeah, you can. You can smite every Raptor.
Pretty sure you can. Well, you can smite them all, but they don't give you the health.
No. Oh, no, it gives you health.
Only the large one does. Small Raptors don't give you health.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. I mean, still, it might have, if he had smited that last one before that auto went off.
Right,
yeah, he could have survived. I mean, fortunately for Forest Lake, I don't think KG3 saw that happen, but that's not a good situation for, I think, the mental state, really for both these teams right now.
Devil's going to be really careful here.
Oh, yeah, hard engage right now from BioK. A lot of damage going both ways, and BioK still looking for this fight. Devil's Tango's trying to run away. Venus has roamed his way up, and that procs a flash. Meanwhile, on the top side, poor VeryBadBunny is stuck in a 2v1 situation, will be going down. The kill will go over to Flare this time.
And in the mid lane as well, the Akali flashed for a tower dive, and unfortunately traded 1-for-1 with Devil's Tango there. I'm happy with that though, because the mini wave's in a very nice position for Biokbobny.
Yeah, it's not the worst situation right now, although I want to bring attention to the warding that's happening around that mid lane. A lot more control in terms of vision right now for KG3.
Most definitely, yeah. I think this is a product of Janna and Bionic getting back in control wards. Control wards on both sides have been very nice to see a little jungle skirmish here. Yeah,
LeBaguette and Ractic just saying hi to each other before going their separate ways. Flare was roaming down. Continuing on with the vision, though, I do believe that was a case of Ractic actually trying to get some deeper vision into KG3's side.
I agree, yeah. Definitely need to get some more vision. I mean, I think the biggest thing here is just KG3 are just not... KG3 are being able to proactively run the map. I think very nice trade as well from LeBaguetteSexy. He's been in the right place both times, right? A, to counter that bot lane gank, or to gank that bot lane, and then also to counter the little top lane fight there from VeryBadBunny, who had a good showing for. So it's interesting game of Kelvin Grove. It's still very even on gold across the board, just because this Akali's kind of big. So maybe they'll keep an eye on that to keep handle. Also, Jinx has got a bit of a CS lead in the bot lane, which could become a bit worrying. Yeah, I feel like CS right now is definitely leading towards Forest Lake, obviously, when you take a look at it. And just the implications later in this game. Jayce is the kind of champion that needs to be ahead in his lane in order to be effective later. Jinx is the kind of champion that the sooner she gets 2 or 3 items, the deadlier she is. So KG3, I feel, needs to find ways to stop this bleeding. I agree. I think maybe the Jayce in the mid lane is... I don't know. It's very difficult right in these matchups because they're not going the way they normally go. So you generally expect the Jayce to be up a lot more than he is now.
Oh, here we go. Action in the mid lane. Devil's Tango getting caught out by both Ractic and Biokbobny, who secures the kill. Just too far extended.
Yeah, and then of course the Xin Zhao coming in for the gank as well. Pushed up too far. The Akali Shroud gets in, just able to slow him down with those Qs. Yeah. The Yorick ultimate does so much damage though. My God.
Yeah, I mean, the Maiden is definitely not something you want to mess with right now. VeryBadBunny giving it its space, but still sort of poking it down. I almost worry if Flare actually used that a bit too prematurely.
Can you just spam ult on cooldown?
Perhaps, but VeryBadBunny actually is down quite low and a bit on a run right now and will get caught up. Cool. This could be an option for Flare. He's got the damage. He's got the kill. Yeah, actually, more action. Jungle as well. Ractic in a lot of trouble. LeBaguette picking up a kill. 2 quick ones for KG.
That's huge for KG now, up in kills now, especially down that top side, getting absolutely dominated up there by the Flare. I just think maybe Urgot doesn't clear out those ghouls as much as I expected to, so big advantage in this matchup for the Yorick, and it's very difficult for this Urgot to really come back from anything in this lane. This Yorick's going to be a huge threat in the side lane.
Yeah, and Ractic as well, getting invaded in his own bot side jungle right now, has died twice in that similar area. Granted, only one time was by his opponents, but Xin Zhao is also one who you'd expect to be, doing a little bit better, keeping better pace over a Kayn. So LeBaguette doing a great job in that jungle, what we identified his team needed.
Yeah, I mean, Ractic's been kind of hard just farming this game. He hasn't been doing anything too proactive around the map. Hasn't been using Xin Zhao to his really full potential. I mean, he did a little bit with the mid lane gank there, but besides that, has been very quiet this game.
That he has. And I'm getting, as this continues, though, I'm starting to believe a bit more and more actually in Forest Lake.
Yeah.
I feel their deaths have been sort of unforced errors or not really respecting their opponent as much as they should. But based on both the mid lane and the bot lane, I feel are a bit stronger than perhaps the mistakes from both top and jungle.
I mean, I definitely think so. I think the other thing you're going to consider here for both sides is, what are they going to do once they move into this team fight phase, right? Even though Kelvin Grove got these little leads, if Kayn doesn't get his evolve quickly, it's going to be very easy for the Akali, Jinx, Nautilus to kind of take over these fights, despite the fact that Urgot and Xin Zhao behind. I mean, Xin Zhao's one of those champions who's going to be quite useless if he falls behind, but Urgot, because he's a bit more tanky, once he finishes, I mean, I don't think he's going for Black Cleaver. I think he should definitely go for the armor item first. Realize, look, I'm not going to do much damage. There's no use me building this damage item. Let me just try to survive in this lane, be useful to my team in these team fights, get my speedy armor item and just run them down and have an AoE
Righteous
slow.
Glory?
Righteous Glory, that's the one.
Righteous Glory is Flare. Yeah, I mean, Flare, as we can see right here, has definitely been dominating this top lane at this stage, both in terms of CS and sort of harassment. Its positioning has been more beneficial for him. Both these top laners need to be careful. Junglers are sort of waiting in the wings, trying to find a way to maybe start something. Roof Herald would be an interesting prize to fight over, as LeBaguetteSexy is moving into that jungle, going a bit behind Ractic right now. He's not going to find anything, and it might be like, two ships sailing at night, just missing each other completely.
Yeah, there you go, especially because Kayn has got his red evolve now as well, so it's the strongest Kayn possible.
Mid action is actually going down as we speak. That's BioK quite low already. Devil's Tango trying to buy time. Ractic is going to try to make save. An early flash keeps him alive, but Akali still doesn't quite have the damage. Finally brings him down, but it is a 1-for-1 as the fight continues. Actually, yeah, it does appear they're going to go under a second tower. Ractic is getting ultied on. He is low, but he might have enough peel to stay alive. LeBaguette has to be careful. 2 tower shots and Ractic goes in, but it's not enough damage. LeBaguette picks up the kill and will get away clean.
Unfortunately, I missed his W there. If he hit his W on the Kayn, he should have EW'd and Q'd gone for the big combo, saved his cooldowns there. Unfortunately, did not, and LeBaguette lives to tell the tale another day as he's being chased slowly by the Nautilus.
Yeah, Venus, I don't see him going to be able to catch up to LeBaguette. Flare is there to provide the bit support right as well. But a fight going in KG3's favor right now. LeBaguette 3-0 on this Kayn, already has a 300 gold bounty, already has that warrior. I imagine he's going to be evolving very soon.
He already has his Rust.
Yeah, he has Rust, so he has evolved. This is big.
This is huge, yeah. Kayn's now kind of like our champion now, basically. I mean, that Kayn definitely should not have been allowed to get away with that tower dive. I think Ractic definitely should have killed him. Obviously, a little bit of a mechanical misplay on the Xin Zhao, whether that's through lack of knowledge or just unfamiliarity with the champion, maybe. Of course, we did discuss a lot of these champions, a lot of these players are playing off-role. So it's just who is the least auto-filled team, I suppose, is what's going on there right now, which is a big thing for a do-or-die game like this.
It is, and I feel like each of these teams right now have that clear champion to rally around. If you're on Forest Lake, it's time to rally around Biokbobny. Yes, he might be...
Well, and the Jinx as well. Jinx is 113 farms, got IE completed already. She's about to go big.
She is. I mean, she does have one item, but we're not quite at that stage yet. And I feel as if LeBaguetteSexy starts to maybe put pressure down on that bot side, they can actually start looking to put this game away.
I agree, yeah. If this Jinx can fall behind and they can get this Twitch a little bit fed, it's going to be very difficult for the Akali to 1v9 since you can only assassinate one target and there's 2 that really need to be killed. In saying that though, like the Akali's never really going to ever one-shot the Kayn or the Yorick. They're going to have to go down to the AoE damage of the Jinx, so this Jinx needs to just stay relevant.
This is interesting right now. That's a bit of a trouble for Baka.
Oh,
big double knockup from LeBaguette. Teleport's coming in way too late. Already VeryStalEMEME has 1 kill as Venus gets to the safety of the tower. But now poor Baho is in so much trouble. Gets the knockup. LeBaguette looking for the tower dive, but Ractic is there. The hook does not quite connect. And a very late teleport once again. Here comes VeryBadBunny. A knockup will stop that engage.
Yeah, and once again you see, exactly what we were talking about, trying to get this Twitch ahead, put this Jinx behind and really put the game to bed here. So good pathing here from LeBaguetteSexy. We did say they're very good at playing around VeryStalEMEME just because he's their carry. LeBaguetteSexy obviously used to be a support, so he's very familiar about how to play around his AD carry down there. Good synergy, of course, being a duo lane as well. Yep. And you can see that relevant in these jungle pathing this game. And
I think what was most successful about that play on the bot side was they got both teleports out of Forest Lake. Yeah. So yeah, Forest Lake might be getting a Cloud Drake. Woohoo! It's a Cloud Drake.
Now, right?
Top lane, however, is going down, so the first tower will actually be going in KG3's favor. But we have a fight actually. Red team stole the dragon and they want more. Teleport coming in as LeBaguette is doing so much work to keep Forest Lake out from rejoining that fight. Ractic is low, ultimate's on him, and big VeryStalEMEME is coming in with the rat-a-tat-tat, the old melty. I do not care. A double kill for LeBaguetteSexy. Baka, don't go into this 1v3. You're going to go down. A huge team fight won by KG3.
That's really big for KG3. Obviously, taking the Cloud Dragon there without too much lane priority. The Jayce came down. Yorick was obviously able to TP down as well because he had TP advantage. Ractic was, I mean, luckily the blue team did get their dragon they went for, but that's a huge move for KG3 and first tower going down here as well.
Yeah, this is, I mean, first tower's already gone down in the top side, so this is second tower as well. They're just taking everything right now, and they're just going to start to run away with this game. I feel as if Forest Lake were a bit too non-committal with that dragon. It was a bit too risky, and they paid the price. Great steal by LeBaguette. Great team fight one. KG3 is now in complete control of this game.
Yeah, KG3 is super far ahead. It's all in the burden of them to lose. I think all they have to do now is put the Yorick in the bot lane with the Maiden. He's going to be healing up in the fountain here as well. They just put the Yorick down the bot lane. Let him just take those towers where you siege mid lane with your Jayce and your Twitch and your Janna and your Kayn, of course. Set up a nice 4-1, spread out the map. I think it's very difficult for Forest Lakes to really do anything, and I think if KG3 play this right, they can really just choke them out and choke out the map.
Yeah, but it's all about, can they execute that correctly? Can they close out this game correctly? Because there's been a lot of just bizarre comebacks I've seen recently.
Yeah, most definitely.
Like all over the place, both in my solo queue games and like other games I've casted. It's just been very turbulent. I mean, we were kind of joking about with Tim earlier on this panel. Like anything can happen in these games. Any lead can be come back for. It's always, you know, making me nervous. It almost feels like, you know, the team ahead might not actually be. I know that's crazy, but sometimes I feel that way.
Definitely 5k gold up for 16 minutes could definitely be turned around. Like a play like this with LeBaguetteSexy gets caught out on 2v1.
But he's actually turning it. He's actually turning it. Ractic's the one in trouble. Some help from Flare. They might look for this complete fight right now. Big slam from Jayce helps LeBaguetteSexy get the first kill. It's actually a double for this jungler as poor Biokbobny has to run away. This will be Rift Herald and 2 more kills for KG3.
That was really nice played by the LeBaguetteSexy as well. She went into the R, of course, with the Xin Zhao, so she couldn't get ulted in by the Urgot. Survives nicely there as well, and you know, this Akali's just way too far behind. Oh, not too far behind, but Akali's not far enough ahead to punish these really fed carries of Kelvin Grove 3. It's one of those games where you kind of at the mid lane are going like, oh, the rest of my team's really far behind. I'm not playing badly, but I just can't do anything. I won my lane, and what do I do? Is they're going to siege on this mid lane here, and once I get this second tier tower down, I think it's going to be very hard for Forest Lakes to come anything against this Yorick, especially with the terror that him and Jayce can randomly side lanes.
Shelly is on a rampage right now, 2 towers down, and it actually might be getting that third charge off while the rest of KG3 do back off. The tower was connected on. I didn't see how much damage, but that's okay. Looking to reset, there was a bit of a split push happening on the bot side of the map.
Yeah, I mean, of course, and Jinx was able to pick up a tower on the boss lane as well to trade one back, so something little there for Forest Lakes, but I think the 2 towers plus a charge in the mid lane, very, very big for Forest Lakes. I mean, KG3.
Yeah, KG3 doing their job right now. We doing okay? We're doing okay. I think we're doing okay right now. I'm feeling like KG3, they're starting to run away with this game. I mean, started, done.
They're running away with the game.
It's just not a good time right now, unfortunately, for Forest Lake. And at this stage, I'm very impressed with what KG3 are doing. Like, LeBaguetteSexy is stepping up as definitely this jungle. Like, I know we were saying before, maybe he's not the main jungler, like he was on support before, maybe he's on the off role now, but I'm starting to think perhaps that support was the off role and he was mainly a jungler player.
Maybe. I mean, I definitely think he's probably in a smart build. Usually going for the spirit result. I think it's just never not going to die to this Akali, right? This is the only threat in the enemy team. Kami's kind of too far behind now. He's going to be set down a little. Oh, sorry, been set back a little bit. So I think it's going to be very interesting to see. Oh, sorry. How Forest Lake's going to work around and try to get back into this game. Because if we can get this Jinx big, get a really nice Nautilus engage onto one of the fed carries, we can definitely turn it around. I just think this Yorick in the side lane is just way too strong. Obviously going for his easy rock portal as well. Pure split push solo queue build here coming out of the Yorick.
Yeah, and I mean, why not? It's not as if Forest Lake, unfortunately, can step up to actually stop this Yorick. If we take a look at the gold, he's already sitting on a 2k advantage just by himself 20 minutes in. Normally, that's like where you want the team to be if you're behind. Not necessarily everyone has a hard engage right now. Forces a flash out of Baka that should stop things for the moment. Actually, a re-engage. Lava gets in a bit of trouble, but he's so tanky, he has so much health, and with that ultimate will stay alive for so long. The target is Venus, and down he goes. With 1 kill down, poor Ractic is the next target. Devil's Tango picking up a kill on the backside. All of a sudden, that's 3 more kills in favor of KG3. They're looking at inhibitors.
I think that's definitely an inhibit, at least here in the mid lane. Really nice fight out of KG3. You see Kayn, once he gets so fed on this red Kayn, if you haven't got enough gold, to get some, what's it called, grievous wounds here to stop him from healing, he'll just use that ultimate to get back more than half his HP. So Very difficult for him to actually kill him off, considering he's got invulnerability, got super healing on the champion as well. And they'll just easily walk through this with the Yorick ulti here.
Yeah, unfortunately, though, I do agree, yes, Grievous Runes are a necessity right now. You need those Grievous Runes. But you have to get the gold to get it, and Force Lake is just getting suffocated. They really can't get any lanes pushing in this favor, not against the split push that KG3 has, and with some pings going down, Cloud Drake is going to be in their future as well.
What I really want to see KG3 do now here is they've been unfortunate with no Mountain Drake spawning, but I think they can definitely do an early Baron here, especially if they've got this inhib pressure. I'd love to see them reset now, buy gold, go straight to that Baron, because they can definitely do it because they're far enough ahead to get the Baron, put the Yorick in the side lane, put the other 4 into the other side lane, and just walk them down. And there's nothing that you can end the game in 5 minutes if you play it correctly from this point on. I'd really like to see them do that and prove that going into the playoffs they're really a strong team to be contended with.
Permission to go slightly off topic a bit? I'm asking you for your permission.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, yeah. I believe that is another Cloud Drake that's coming out right now, and I am at the stage where I think in games that I watch, cast, and participate in, we've just now hit the 80% Cloud Drake level.
Have we?
And I am so sick of it. I want Fun Dragons, I want Mountains, I want Infernals, I want Oceans. Why am I the Cloud Drake guy?
I don't know. That's a question I cannot answer. I think it's the RNG gods from Riot going, no, you'll be getting Cloud Drakes 24/7.
RNG is a beautiful yet terrible thing sometimes.
It's a necessary evil, I think.
It is. But why not? In a very important tie-break game, why not go 3 Cloud Drakes? No overpowered burn, no overpowered destroying of neutral objectives. If you're going to win this game, it's going to be on speed and skill alone. And right now, I think KG3, they have the vision. They're looking to set up that Baron.
Yeah, and exactly what you want around this Baron is that Cloud Dragon, being able to rotate quickly from the side lanes back into the middle, especially for a split push team. It's really nice actually having these Cloud Dragons. Kayn in the mid lane, sorry, not mid lane, Kayn in the jungle being able to run through these walls much faster, little wisps behind them as they run very quickly.
Yes, they are. And right now, actually, they're looking. They may have caught VeryBadBunny out of position. He is the target. Ghoul's thrown in his face, forcing out the flash. But that chase is still on, and he is not going to be able to stop this. The rest of the team from Force Lake are trying to get there, but can they get there in time? Bad Bunny's so low, and he goes down in soup time with the kill.
Yeah, I mean, the rest of the team now, the Jayce is doing so much damage. Our double lethality completed, Dustblade plus the Yombus. Give a speed to chase down. Once the Kayn lands that knock up, he's just dead to rights here with VeryBadBunny. Caught out a little bit too far, a little bit greedy for a wave, and there isn't really anything they can do to stop this Baron.
I mean, they can go for the 50-50. Ractic is going to be either the hero or the GOAT in this situation, should he attempt it. But sitting in mid lane, I don't see that happening. But it doesn't appear as if KG3 is super committal to this. They are looking to back lane, maybe get a pick. Force Lake's recognizing this, backing off Baron to KG3.
Yeah, once this KG3 get this Baron lane, just put the Yorick bot, rest of the team top, finish the game. Very simple, very easy to do. Actually, sorry, you put the team bot, and put Yorick top because you want the waves pushing into you. But if they all have a full reset here, walk through the side lanes here, instead of going mid, just chill out, reset, get your gold, win the game. But they decided to risk it all and go for an instant win through this mid lane. Yeah, I'm very confused by this. There's no reason for the team to be pushing out on their own like this. Devil's Tango has to be a bit worried right now. There is still damage on this Akali and a solo kill for BioK. Only 4 Barons remain. That's a really nice pick there from the Akali. It also slows down this Baron split push enabler. Has to wait for the Jayce to respawn and, of course, rejoin his team in one of those side lanes. This could be one of those moments where there's a really frustrating game in solo queue where you're so far ahead, and the team just runs it down that inhibitor lane and just gets killed every single time because you're fighting a team fight in a choke point under their game, and it's just like, why are we going down mid? Use your side lanes, make them pushing, collect that gold, extend your leads. Why are we just running at them time and time again and getting killed over and over? And this is the difference between those really good teams and those teams that kind of just win games by luck, right? Yeah. It's the difference between silver and the difference between platinum, because you know how to use those side lanes, know how to play the game properly, rather than just this kind of bash heads and hopefully one of us wins. Yeah, LeBaguette was getting a little too deep in there. I mean, it's really unfortunate for KG3 just because Devil's Tango, I would say, is probably the second most important Baron buff on that Jayce. It would have been worse for them if FlareLG had gone down, but hey, count your blessings. Not really, because Flare is just sitting in the mid lane right now doing absolutely nothing to that champion. They need to be in the side lanes. They need to be 4 in one lane, 1 in the other, and they will win the game within 2-3 minutes, right? If that's all they have to do. It's so simple. It's just about executing on the strategy. Yeah, instead, though, Maiden, unfortunately, kind of gets run down in the jungle right there. There's a fair bit of damage right now coming out of BakaKami. You have the Runons, you have the Infinity Edge, a couple lucky crits, and the team fight may go Force Lake's way. They're sitting all 4. They just need to get the Yorick in a different lane. Like Yorick's just so useless with it. Well, not useless, but he's just not as good. He's so much better on his own where they need at least 2-3 people to come deal with him, and he'll still be able to get the turret.
This might be the fight VeryBadBunny was looking for, but with the tower down, he might be caught out. Fortunately, able to get past those chompers as they're trying to turn around on LeBaguetteSexy, but no, the chase down is too real. Ultimate dropped, and down goes this Urgot. LeBaguette gets out healthy, so 4v5. Kelvin Grove, big advantage. They could be looking to end. The siege on that tower is there. VeryStaleMeme kind of on his own, has to catch up. Redemption will heal a bit. Maiden is there as well, but quite low.
Mid inhibitors back up again as well, so don't have pressure in that mid lane. Just put Yorick in a side lane, please. Please put Yorick in a side lane. You'll win the game.
Yeah, I mean, Flare instead opting to stick with the team right now. I think they are trying to find that hard 5v5, perhaps trying to win it that way, but even then they had a 5v4, and I feel like they're taking enough that they could have actually gone for that tower dive and maybe looked for more. Super Mega Death Rocket going to try and attempt a Dragon Steal. Doesn't even connect with anything, unfortunately, as the inhibitor is being sieged on while the rest of the team's out the Dragon. This is an opening for Force Lakes. They got to try and force this fight right now. Instead, the inhibitor goes down, and they're not doing anything.
Yeah, I mean, they're just so scared of this 9-0 Kayn and this 3-0 Yorick. That's an absolute monster right now. So healthy and so tanky on the Yorick, just naturally right as well. And the Kayn, very slippery, easy to get out. So unfortunately, no advantage picked up from that little bit of an overextension there from KG3. Now they're going to look to take this top lane as well.
It is, and I'm kind of wondering at what stage does Forest Lake actually look for this sort of do or die fight, because it's not as if that BakaKami is going to be getting any more significant items in the near future. Yes, you got that Executioner's Calling right now, so that's good. You have the Grievous Wounds. Maybe now they have to try and get that fight before things spiral a bit too far out of control.
Yeah, you definitely need to look for a fight sooner rather than later. Maybe like once Akali maybe gets a component to a Morello's possibly, but even then, you know, I think this Twitch is going to get overkilled by the Akali regardless. They need to go for a fight, as soon as they possibly can. Maybe once Urgot, I don't know what Urgot's going for Desmond's play now. I think he really needs to get that Righteous Glory there to really have an impact in the team fights, even though he's 0-6.
Yeah. As much as we're saying this too, like we're kind of painting this picture that yes, there's a chance Forest Lake can come back into this. They have an opening. They could possibly play around BakaKami, but it should be also worth noting that KG3, yeah, they've died 5 times as a team. All 5 of those deaths have actually been on Devil's Tango. Forest Lake has been unable to take down any other member of KG3 just yet, and because I feel KG3 has done a good job in sort of. Yes, I know you want Flare on his own on the side lane, but when they're as a group, they're just so tough to kill.
I mean, it's regardless, right? Like, LeBaguetteSexy is strong enough right now to tank all 5 members, I think, in a big old team fight. And I don't know. It's just the game's being dragged out. Like, it should be ended by now, and we'll just have to see. You know, it's giving opportunities for Forest Lake back into this game, which is good for the viewers, right? We want to see them a nice competitive game, but it's also kind of unfortunate when you think that like this team, KG3, you know, they really want to make a push to kind of stand up to their big brothers, KG4. See, maybe going for a little bit of an engage here.
Yeah, LeBaguette thought maybe he had Baka caught out. Unfortunately for him, however, Baka did have backup. So LeBaguette's going to back off for now. The inhibitor's down. They're sort of waiting for Super Minions to crash. VeryStaleMeme is super far back on the map right now. So it's not as if they can really force this fight until that next wave crashes.
Yeah, Red Buff's up. Sorry, not Red Buff. Baron's up in a minute as well. So once they get that second Baron, they should be strong enough to kind of just end the game as a team in a whole. But I think just sitting around this mid lane is very dangerous because if one of them gets down to a pick, it means Forest Lakes may open up a chance to steal the Baron or at least contest it, and we drag out the game even longer and longer and gives more time for these Jinx to get online.
That said, KG3 is looking for that fight. VeryStaleMeme doing a lot of damage. The ultimate already used by the Twitch, but it does chunk a lot of health bars quite low. Unfortunately, the siege just doesn't seem to be there until Flare steps up. The Venus doing what he can to hold him back, but the first Nexus tower falls. That's a flash escape from the Venus, and no one dies just yet. VeryBadBunny trying to find a way to re-engage. Health bars are back full on Forest Lakes. They want this fight. They want to stop this bleeding. Perhaps maybe get something more out of it as well, but they need the kills. KG3 looking to siege, looking to end. Super Minions getting to that Nexus tower. LeBaguette leading the charge. He's trying to get to the back line. Goes in deep after Ractic, who tries to turn it back around. Meanwhile, take a look at this Akali. It's on the back line. Meanwhile, underneath the tower, LeBaguette doing what he can. Big OK actually got a kill on Devil's Tango, and all of a sudden, Flare goes down as well. Forest Lakes is winning this fight. LeBaguette doing what he can in a 1v3 situation, but a couple tower hits lowers that health bar. He goes down. Shutdown going over to the Venus. Forest Lake just wins a huge fight.
And that's the danger of just running down that mid lane over and over again. Like we say in solo, you got to force these side lanes. You got to use the waves got to draw pressure, because now the only one left alive is this Twitch, who's going to do absolutely nothing once he gets caught by a Nautilus hook. This has opened up a huge chance for Forest Lakes to try and snag the Baron away from Kelvin Grove and then delay the game by another 3-4 minutes.
Yeah, but they need to get onto that Baron now. Already 15 seconds remaining for Devil's Tango before he's back up. The important one, though, is the 23 seconds on LeBaguetteSexy. Yeah. But it doesn't seem as if they're really committing hard for it. It's only Baka there right now, and he has to wait for...
I mean, the Kayn Urgot are walking... I mean, not Kayn, the Xin Urgot are walking there now.
Is the damage there?
It's going to be very, very close. They're going to have to kill it very quickly.
Yeah, that's if, you know, KG3 even decides to react, but KG3 a bit slow as well. Only just now is VeryStaleMeme retreating. He went all the way back to his blue buff before starting to recall, so... But they don't go for the Baron. They back off.
I think they just assumed they'd be here already. They got scared. They thought, oh, we'll back off here now, and it means the waves are in very bad positions. There should be a free Baron picked up here for KG3.
Yeah, I mean... a little bit unfortunate for Forest Lake, like that they're conceding this point that quickly. They are spotting the motions of KG3, so they should know they're on Baron right now. I'm curious if they're going to try and mount some sort of Baron defense, but it looks like they are going to completely concede it. Super Mega Death Rocket coming through, it's just going to smash right into Soup Time. Not going to stop this Baron, so Baron should be secured. A little bit of a hero play coming out of Ractic right now. He's trying to get to the pit, but he's being pushed away. Baron is secured by KG3. Ractic goes down. Is that the throw?
I think that's it. I think without the jungler and a 4v5, I think they can just run it down mid here, get the last inhibitor tower. They've got super minions still coming as well. Even though the inhibitor is about to respawn.
LeBaguette is actually going in quite hard, and already Biokbobny is chunked quite low. Oh no, Baka's separated from the team. Baka is above everyone right now, but it doesn't seem as if KG3 want to pursue that. They're looking at the Nexus instead. There is hope for Forest Lake. If they can pull off this miracle 4v5, this game will extend, but that tower is going down so quickly. Already, the Nexus is exposed. They need to look for this fight now. Flare's getting pulled deeper into the side as both Bio and Venus are working on him. Here comes Devil's Tango to try and turn around. Meanwhile, Venus gets pulled super deep. They're trying to push him back, but the Nexus is getting railed on by the rest of the team. There is your game. KG3 advances to the top 16.
And there you go. The tiebreakers ended. KG3 a very convincing victory there. 10k got up by the end of it. 9 kills to 20. A huge Yorick and Kayn performance out of LeBaguetteSexy and LG Flare respectively. Huge games from both of them. The Twitch as well. VeryStaleMeme, you told me they would play around this carry player. I think LeBaguetteSexy would play absolutely fantastic. It was definitely the carry of that game. It was absolutely huge, and I think they'll definitely turn the game around, that Kayn Xin Zhao matchup in the jungle.
Yeah, there was a huge game right there for LeBaguetteSexy. Also huge for Flare, and really the bot lane as well. VeryStaleMeme and Soup Time.
Yeah.
They weren't, you know, making those big flashy plays, but they were holding their own. They became relevant when needed.
Yeah.
I still feel like Forest Lake was so close to possibly bringing it back. I mean, we saw that team fight that they won, and I feel if they've been a bit more patient towards the end, like not question themselves as much, not panic, bail on the Baron, not go for this Hail Mary play that might not have been necessary, because they were at the stage where they could have started winning team fights.
Of course, yeah. Look, their comp was much better, right? They had a better comp. All their champions synergized better. I think some builds could have been optimized a little bit more, and some, like, you know, maybe early game playstyles could have been a little bit better. But for the most part, you know, they were very, very good with how they played the game, and you know, KG3 just took them out completely. And you know, despite a worse draft, the Kayn, you know, just absolutely outpathed the Xin Zhao here, and we said that was one of the biggest things you see. If this Kayn gets his evolve early, he's going to take over the game, and he did.
Yeah, I mean, yes, LeBaguetteSexy did a good job in outpathing and played that early game well. It's easy to outpath an enemy jungler when they accidentally get themselves executed by Raptors.
This is true. It is very easy to outpath a jungle that can't farm the jungle without dying.
That was, yeah.
It was unfortunate. It was unfortunate.
And I feel, though, that execution really sort of summarized what Forest Lake's mindset this game.
Yeah.
Like, there's mental mistakes. The decision-making wasn't always quite there. They just were a little off balance. Granted, KG3 at times as well kind of showed that maybe they can refine their team composition a bit, refine how they play the game. Yorick not split pushing with the Baron, I think, is a big sort of red exclamation mark. Like, okay, we need to understand how this team comp should work. But when push came to shove, LeBaguetteSexy kind of put his team on his back through that early and mid game. It's like, nah, we're going to get far enough ahead, we'll be fine.
I think Flare as well in the top lane really won that Yorick matchup as well. Was super big and just a huge threat on these towers. Was instantly like 2-3 queuing the towers, right? Which is exactly what you want out of the Yorick. Really good split pusher, right? That's what he does best. You look some of these replays. The first one was here. Forest Lake was going for a little bit of a Cloud Dragon play, and they just got turned around instantly. I see. This is when LeBaguetteSexy picked up a lot of kills. Really good Kayn also went onto the Xin Zhao. Twitch just gets to open up the back line. It's a 5v3 and just absolutely gets taken out. And of course, the mid laner as well came in late. Jinx went for a chase kill on the Jayce and just unfortunately went straight down there to VeryStaleMeme. And you know, that was one of the big things that really just set the game the opposite way in momentum. Like, they were really ahead to that point. well, they're at least going even. You look like, sure, like they're a little bit behind. There's pretty much even a goal, but they've got the better comp. If they just play safe, play still, get their items, it's going to be very hard for them to take over this game. But the second the game went that way, it was just almost impossible for them to swing it differently.
Well, I think there was 2 key parts in that fight that really turned it that way. And one was the Dragon Steel itself. Like LeBaguetteSexy actually getting that Dragon was a huge bit of momentum swing. And the second thing was BakaKami had a chance to get away.
Of course,
and then walked right back in. And continuing on the point, like these sort of mental missteps that Forest Lake was making. Unfortunately, in that situation, walked right to his death, sort of really cemented the fact that, okay, KG3 is now in control of this game.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're going to be joined here by a Forest Lake student very soon as well. Obviously, they did play their game at the UQ Esports Center today. Talking about KG3, I mean, like not KG3, sorry, Forest Lakes here. They they played very well. They had a nice comp. Their team worked together. I think obviously some optimizations could be made better, but overall it's an unfortunate end to their split. Obviously, they did join us a little bit later, and I think that was one of the biggest things that KG3 had an advantage. Right, they had more experience playing together. They were able to find out which roles worked best for them in the team and which way they could work best. Whether some other players were kind of moving around. So, especially if you look at this little replay here. You see, it's sort of end of the game here where KG3 kind of just barreling down the Nexus. They had the Baron at this point, or not, actually, this is the fight that turned around, no? Yeah, this is the fight that Forest Lake actually started to turn it around, I believe, when things were looking dire, because you can tell because Baron is still up. And yeah, it was just a bit of too much greed coming out of KG3. An early ultimate from the Janna as well kind of separated his own team a bit too much. And yeah, from that point, BakaKami was just able to just take down target after target after target. Yeah, I mean, at this point, they're going for a big dive here for KG3. They didn't respect the ability they needed to have this backline threat, right? They needed the Baron to really try to shove down a lane so aggressively. And of course, of the red side as well, Kelvin Grove just needed to play that game a lot more slowly. Forest Lake's tried to get the Baron here, but you see the continuation of the play. Kelvin Grove picked up the Baron and just barreled down mid lane and took the game. Yep, indecisiveness, unfortunately, costing Forest Lake in this situation right here with the Baron being a man up. It was pretty straightforward for KG3 to run it down and secure themselves a spot in that top 16. That said, we are now joined by 2 members of Forest Lake who unfortunately fell short, BakaKami and the Venus. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for letting us have them.
So how was it playing in the UQ Esports Center both weeks in a row?
It was pretty good. It was really good computers and stuff.
Not used to what we're like at home. Like usually playing on laptops at home and stuff. So yeah, it was a big change, but. Yeah,
unfortunate loss for you guys today. What was your strategy kind of coming into the game?
We were planning on letting bot lane farm up first, but we kind of got picked off top a few times, and then that just kind of cost Kayn getting fed and the game losing.
Yeah, and I feel as if you were correct in trying to play around that bot lane. I think that was most showed by that last team fight there when you guys were finally able to be enabled. You were able to, turn that team fight around. It was very good play coming out of Baka there at the end. So I do commend you for that. But unfortunately, it did feel like throughout the game there was a lot of sort of mental missteps or communication errors from your team.
I definitely think my decision when I was pathing around to help out other lanes, I think I could have chosen my time wisely and done it at the right time, because I think that put my lane behind too by leaving. So
yeah.
That said, though, I want to highlight a couple situations which I'm really sorry to Ractic, but I'm going to have to ask you guys. I think you know what I'm talking about. Early in that game with the Raptors, was there sort of a what was the lead up to that? How did that kind of come to be?
Actually, not quite sure about that one.
What was the comms like? What was the communication from Ractic?
We were just all laughing at him.
He just gave us the quick, I'm trolling, guys. I'm sorry.
My bad. Of course, as unfortunately to sit behind the lane, but in the bot lane, you guys did really well early on, right? Playing against that Twitch Janna lane, right? What was your kind of communication around the Kayn? Because I know there was a big point around the bot lane where you guys all survived and just got out right in the bot lane.
Whenever Twitch would go invis, we'd try to back off because we knew Kayn was coming or something.
And we knew that because Kayn would start Raptors, which was top side, we knew that we were able to run our wave into their tower. So we could get the head, a bit of damage on tower maybe even.
Okay.
So, continuing on though, unfortunately after this match, it does mean your season is over. You didn't quite make that top 16. But I have to ask though, as an experience as well, because you guys did join in late, you were able to play 4 games, I believe, all together. Do you feel it has been beneficial for, your school camaraderie? Was it a good experience overall?
It was definitely a good experience.
Yeah, it was fun.
I mean, have you guys made a lot of, obviously you found you guys closer friends with everyone else in your team, or you guys kind of already mates before you started
we
playing?
were already playing daily with each other.
Yeah, we were already all playing together as a 5-man. Yeah,
nice.
It was really fun.
So does that mean we would be expecting you guys on the road to Eka up and coming?
Yeah, we already put our applications on the online.
Fantastic.
Exciting. Good. So this isn't the end of Forest Lake then. We're going to be seeing more of you guys.
Definitely not.
Perfect. I think that brings us to the end of our broadcast today. Of course, we thank Forest Lake for coming in, and of course, the University of Queensland for giving us this fantastic facility to broadcast from. We'll be back again next week at, I believe, 4:30 p.m. And remember, if you want to see more of me and Max casting or check out some more League of Legends action, head over to twitch.tv/UQLOL. I will be seeing the finals of the University of Queensland Rumble tournament.
Yeah, that's going to be happening like pretty much just now. So exciting stuff. More League coming at you. Maybe not on this channel, though. Hopefully they decide to host it. Fingers crossed. I don't know. I don't know what goes on behind the stages, unfortunately. Once again, big thank you to Forest Lakes. And yeah, no 2-week break though. Actually,
yeah,
not next week.
2-week break. There's school holidays coming up, so it'll be a 2-week break before we move into the round of 16, and then eventually the finals culminating in a live final here on campus at the Fred Chanel. So again, thank you all for joining us tonight, and we'll see you next week. Good night.
A pleasure.